Hello students, we are back with the first chapter, Living World and Classification of Microbes of our Standard 8 Science subject. Okay, so in our last class, we have seen that living organisms are basically classified into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And further, they are classified on the basis of their complexity, body complexity, then mode of nutrition, lifestyle, and phylogenetic relationship with each other. And on that basis, Robert Whittaker classified this living world on this earth into five kingdom theory. Actually, this five kingdom theory is widely accepted. Before Whittaker, Carl Linnaeus in the year 1735 divided the world into two kingdoms, Vegetabilia and Animalia. Then one more scientist, Haeckel, came forward in 1866 and he put forward three kingdom theory of Protista, plants and animals. Then further came in 1925 Chapman, who classified the living world into prokaryotes and eukaryotes, only two parts. And Copeland in 1938 divided the living world into four kingdoms. These were Monera, Protista, Plantia and Animalia, plants and animals. But he did not add fungus. Fungi were not added in his classification. And Robert Whittaker's classification had this plus point. This is the merit of Robert Whittaker's five kingdom classification of the living world, that he made a separate kingdom for fungus. Okay, for fungi he made a separate kingdom. That way, students, you see, we have five kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantia, and Animalia. These are the five kingdoms in which Robert Whittaker has classified our living world into. So the merits for Robert Whittaker's classification was that fungi got a separate kingdom. Then this type of classification was much better than the two kingdom theory that was earlier proposed by other scientists. 2, 3 kingdom, then 4 kingdom, and finally 5 kingdom theory, widely accepted around the world now. Okay, that's why it is all over the world utilized. Then we have also seen certain questions which earlier classes also you have gone through, that who invented the binomial system of nomenclature? Can you name them? Name that scientist. It was Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus was the scientist who classified and gave names to the every living thing on this earth. That is named as binomial nomenclature. And which level of hierarchy are considered while writing the name in binomial nomenclature? Here actually from kingdom, class, division, all these continuous classification, the final two stages, that is genus and species. Genus and species name are utilized while writing our scientific name of any living thing on this earth. For example, if it is a mango tree belonging to India, we can say the name of that tree, Mangifera indica. That way, the name binomial. Why? Because two names together coming, but one is a genus and one is a species. For we human beings, the name is Homo sapien. Homo is the genus, sapien is the species for us human beings. Okay, so let us discuss certain question answers based on this chapter. So, according to Whitaker's classification, bacteria is belonging to which category? It is having a prokaryotic cell, therefore, and it is also unicellular. So, maximum all the bacteria belong to kingdom Monera. Okay? Protozoa. Protozoans are examples you see: amoeba, paramecium, euglena. These are the examples of protozoa, and as they are unicellular but the cell is eukaryotic, therefore we put them under the kingdom Protista. Okay. Fungi, no doubt we have separate kingdom for all the type of fungus. Then we have kingdom Plantae and Animalia, which can be put into higher classes. So now you don't have to worry about them. Next, this chart you people can draw about the living organisms classification into 5 kingdoms by Whitaker, Robert Whitaker. You can make this chart in your copy just now, okay? By observing on the board. Next thing is we have to match the pairs. In this textbook, we have certain questions. So fungus, our example is given here, that name is Candida. Fungus example is Candida. Protozoa is amoeba. Virus is bacteriophage. Actually, bacteriophage is the bacterial body in which the virus has inserted its DNA or RNA and it is operating according to its will. Actually, it is just like a living host. It needs a body in which it will enter and then attack other organisms. Viruses are living hosts. Okay. And next is our algae. Algae, many of you must have seen where there is a lot of water all the time. But the example of algae given in your book is chlorella. Okay. And bacteria are all prokaryotic cells. There, I hope you remember in the earlier class we have discussed what is prokaryotes. Okay. The next question is on true and false, and you have to explain why is it true or why is it false. Lactobacilli are harmful bacteria. Actually, this is a false statement. Lactobacilli are not harmful, otherwise they are useful actually. In our curd, lactobacilli are there and they help in easing indigestion in our stomach and alimentary canal or the digestive system. Then cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. Fungus is actually very delicate body part, so they have a covering over them made up of chitin, a proteinaceous hard covering to protect their bodies. So this statement is true, and chitin is protecting the inner soft cells of the fungi. Organ, third statement is organ of locomotion in amoeba is pseudopodia. Of course, it is pseudopodia. Amoeba are shapeless organisms. They do not have any body parts. They are unicellular. But how they will move or capture their food with the help of these such shapeless bodies? If this is the body and food is here, they will prepare pseudopodia finger-like projection and try to capture this food material. Such type of pseudopodia are also used by amoeba for locomotion. They are completely aquatic. These pseudopodia, P is silent, pseudopodia or one pseudopodium, they help this animal amoeba to capture their food as well as for locomotion. So this is again a true statement. Fourth statement is tomato wilt is a viral disease. Yes, because in plants, virus is causing this disease, and that's why we can put them into category of viral disease. Okay. Now, next question is related to our again merits of Whitaker. What are the merits? Now, demerits are also there and merits are also there. Merits of Whitaker's five kingdom theory we have already discussed just now, that fungus got a special separate kingdom for itself, and this type of kingdom is widely accepted because all organisms can be accommodated in this five kingdom theory by Whitaker, and it was better than the two kingdom, three kingdom or four kingdom theories proposed by earlier scientists. These are the merits, two merits of Whitaker's classification theory. Now, next question is, we have to write the characteristics of viruses. Virus, as I told you, are not considered living beings. They are said to be on the edge of living and non-living, on the boundary of living and non-living. They are studied under microbiology because they are very minute and their size is about 10 to 100 times smaller than that of bacteria also. So we always need an electron microscope to study them. They are found in the different forms independently living, but virus is a long molecule of DNA or a RNA covered by a protein core. Viruses survive only in living plants or animal cell, and for that purpose they need a host cell. They actually produce their own protein with the help of host cell inside which they are living and create a number of replica. They reproduce that way by replicating very fast, and they destroy the host cell and then become free. Okay. These free viruses again infect the new cell and again the same cycle will continue. And viruses are well known in our world to cause many diseases in plants as well as animals. So these are certain characteristics of viruses. Now, if we want to explain the nutrition in fungi, next question is based on nutrition in fungus. These are actually, we all know that fungus grow on dead and decaying material. Grow on these dead bodies means they are absorbing nutrients from the dead bodies. These are eukaryotic organisms, and some are unicellular, some are multicellular also, but the mode of nutrition in these fungus is very unique that is called as saprophytic. They absorb their food from decaying organic matter. So what type of mode of nutrition is used by fungus? This is fungus. So saprophytic mode of nutrition. Why? Because they grow by absorbing nutrients from decaying matter. Okay, this is the saprophytic mode of nutrition in fungus. Our next question: which living organisms are included in kingdom Monera? Which living organisms are included in kingdom Monera? So Monera, we all know, in this classification you can see the cells are prokaryotic, that is primitive type. They are unicellular, and that is named as the kingdom Monera, where primitive type of cells, unicellular ones, are surviving. And examples of Monera are mostly the bacteria. All bacteria come under this category. Prokaryotic means primitive type of cell. Okay, and eukaryotic is a modern type of cell where nuclear membrane is there. In prokaryotes, there is no nuclear membrane to the nucleus inside the cell. Our next question is about, we have to identify what they are from these statements. Who am I? I don't have true nucleus, cell organelles, or plasma membrane. I do not have a true nucleus. So obviously this is going to be a prokaryotic cell. Second one, I have nucleus and membrane bound cell organelle. This is your eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell is having a nucleus, nuclear membrane, and all the cell organelles inside that are having a complete boundary, membrane outside them. Okay, so second answer is eukaryotes. Third one, I live on decaying organic matter, just now discussed. Who lives on dead and decaying matter? They are these fungi, fungus. Kingdom fungi belong to this category. They live on dead and decaying material. Next, fourth one. I reproduce mainly by cell division. Who reproduces by cell division? They are the protozoans. Protozoans belong to kingdom Protista. Protozoans like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, and volvox belong to kingdom Protista, and they divide by cell division. From one cell, two cells, from 2 to 4, like that they grow in number. Next statement is, I can produce many replica. Who can make replica like themselves? Just now before we have discussed the characteristics of viruses. Viruses replicate themselves. Numerous number of replica are formed, and then they destroy the host cell and lead an independent life again. Or they will attack some other cells again. So viruses are known to make replica of themselves, the DNA or RNA, whatever present in them. Next one, I am green. but I don't have any organs. Here you see algae. Algae are green. They have chlorophyll. They can perform photosynthesis and produce their own food, but they do not have root, stem, leaves like body parts. They are just group of cells. In your local language, you may be calling it shewar. Algae are that. Example best known for algae is your Spirogyra. In your 7th standard, you must have studied about Spirogyra. Okay. The next question we have to write, you have to just draw diagrams of different types of bacteria. Different types of bacteria you can draw like this. Foci are circular in shape, comma shape are vibrio, rod shape are bacilli, and some bacteriophages inside with the virus attack and take away the body and operate it. So you can draw this type of diagrams for your different types of bacteria. Okay. Next is paramecium diagram. Paramecium diagram is a sleeper shaped structure having cilia, a nucleus, mouth, ear, and all other small cell organelles are included inside this paramecium. Here they have cilia, hair-like structure. For locomotion, they are using it. So obviously, they are unicellular. So inside one cell, they have a nucleus and other small cell organelles also. There is a mouth to absorb nutrients from the medium in which they are surviving. This type of diagram you have to draw. And finally, another diagram that you have to draw is that of a bacteriophage. Here you have to draw one big bacteria. Inside that, just show DNA or RNA. Bacteriophage, a simple bacterium with a flagella for movement. Inside that you can draw any DNA or RNA that belongs to a viral It could be a DNA or it could be a RNA. Okay, this way you have to draw a bacteriophage, very easy to draw. So this way, I want you all to solve all the question answers in your copy based on this chapter. Okay. Thank you all of you. Solve it.